Ladies and gentlemen, we are here. We are fashionably late, but we are here nonetheless. It's about 11 o'clock my time, so pretty late stream today. We'll see who gets in here first. We're going to be talking about how to desensitize to anything, right? How to desensitize. If I don't get if I don't trip over my words today, how to desensitize to anything is the title of tonight's stream. We're gonna talk about that. Ghost, what is up, dude? I know you like these. I know you like these stream times. Always a good time for you. What's up, Joseph? What's up, Joseph? Who else? We got Mike. What's up, Mike? Terry. We got Terry in the house. We got Terry in the house. I don't mean to. I don't mean to interrupt Terry's talk. I know Terry's having a talk right now. I hope I don't interrupt. What's up, Raymond? What's up, dude? Hope you're doing well. Welcome. Another late one tonight, guys. Another late one. I love them. It's like morning time for you, right, Ghost? What's up, Style Alert? Welcome. Hope everyone's doing well tonight. What bro, Sanchez? What's up, dude? What's up? So guys, before we even get started today, okay, or tonight rather, we are currently under, where I'm at, a winter storm warning. It's supposed to, all the rain that we're getting right now is supposed to turn to, let me adjust this a little bit. It's supposed to turn to snow in a few hours, and that snow is supposed to go on all night. It's supposed to be thick and heavy and just nasty snow. So with that being said, if and I hate even saying this, if we happen to lose power, right, which they're calling for that to be a possibility, if we happen to lose power, hopefully we get it right back really soon and we don't have to miss any streams. But if for some reason I'm not here tomorrow or the next day or whatever, just know that we're supposed to get some nasty weather. Some really nasty weather, and we just gotta wait and see what happens with it. So I'm just giving you guys a fair warning while I've got the chance. I'm giving you a fair warning. What's up, bro? What's up, Brian? What's up, Abel? It's like 9:35 a.m. so bright and early for you. Oh shit, get in the basement. It's not a tornado, Ghost. It's not a tornado, it's snow. So I don't know if getting in the basement is the right call there, but I'll keep that in mind. I'll keep that suggestion in mind. We'll give it a few minutes, let some people get in here. Then we'll go ahead and get started tonight and knock it out, man. What we're going to be talking about is how to desensitize to anything, right? Give it another minute or so, let some people roll on in. How to desensitize to anything. Don't forget about the YouTube shorts, guys. We've been doing those here recently. Don't forget about those. I know those are easy to miss, so Excuse me, man. I'm having a sluggish start today, but we're still gonna have a good stream. Yeah, getting in the basement can be the worst idea. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get started. How to desensitize to anything. So before we talk about that, we need to know what sensitization is. We covered this yesterday, so I'm just going to be very brief today. Sensitization is when your body overreacts to a trigger, right? So you've got a trigger, whether that be a thought, whether that be a symptom that triggers you, whether that be a situation, a person. It can be anything. Anything can really be a trigger. So when you're sensitized to something, right, or when your nerves are just sensitized in general, that means you are going to have a nervous reaction, anxiety symptoms towards that trigger, right? So Dr. Claire Weeks called it desensitization. She called it desensitization. We have to get to desensitization. So the title of this stream is how to desensitize to anything. So whatever your trigger is, doesn't matter whether we're talking about a feeling, a person, a situation, so forth and so on. It's a long list. How do you desensitize to something? How can you desensitize to pretty much anything? And the answer is probably one that's not very satisfying to a lot of people, but it is the truth. The way to desensitize to anything that you are sensitized to is to be with it, man. To be with it. People don't like to hear that because then comes the fun part, right? Now you have to be with the trigger without the coping methods. Now you have to be with the trigger without the compulsions. Now you have to be with the trigger without trying to do anything about it. So really, you could say that to desensitize to something is to train your brain towards it. You could say that to desensitize and train your brain towards something is to get used to something, right? We can also call this habituation, right? So to desensitize to something, you have to be with it long enough for it to lose its power. That's a good way to put it. To desensitize to something, you have to be with it long enough for your brain to learn it's not a real danger. To desensitize to something, you have to get used to it. That's probably the most simple way to put it. And I know what a lot of people are probably thinking right now, but Wonder Bro, I'm with this stuff all day, every day. How come I'm not used to it yet? You have to be with it in the right way, right? So you can't say, Wonder Bro, you tell me in order to desensitize these things, I have to be with them. I'm with them every day, Wonder Bro. How come I'm not used to it yet, right? You have to be with it in the right way. You have to be with it in the right way. So if you're experiencing a bunch of triggers or you're maybe one particular trigger, whatever, it doesn't matter, and you say, well, I'm with it every day, how come I can't desensitize to it? Well, you got to be with it the right way. You can't go into it with a bunch of coping methods, a bunch of compulsions. You can't be in your head trying to figure these thoughts out. Let's say your trigger is a what-if thought. And every day you're with that what-if thought, not by choice, but you're with that what-if thought. But every single day you're in your head trying to debunk it. Every single day you're arguing with it. So the what-if thought comes. I'm just going to use an example, just grab an example out of thin air. The what-if thought comes, what if I go crazy? You deal with that every single day. But every time that what-if thought of what if I go crazy comes, you get in your head and you start listing mental reasons as to why that won't happen. Or you get in your head doing mental compulsions. Mental compulsions are a real thing. We call that fighting with the thoughts and feelings, right? You get in your head and you start arguing with the thought of going crazy. You get on Dr. Google and you look up statistics on reasons why you won't go crazy. You seek the reassurance on why you won't go crazy. These are all compulsions. A compulsion is anything you do to try to fight off the thoughts and feelings, right? So people come to me and they say, Wonder Bro, you tell me I have to desensitize to this by getting used to it, by showing my brain it's not a real danger. I deal with it every day. How come I'm not desensitized to it yet? You got to deal with it the right way. If you want to desensitize your brain to something, you got to be with it, and you got to be with it the right way. You can't be with it while using coping methods and compulsions. Nobody's perfect, okay, but I'm just giving you the facts here. So every time this trigger comes, you use a coping method, you use a compulsion, you do something to try to fight with it, right? You do something to try to fight with it, well, then you're not being with it in the right way. You're being with it in a way that's continuing to show the brain that there's some importance here, some danger here. If you truly want to lose the fear of something, you got to go right through it, right? How do you go right through a what if? How do you go right through some sort of intrusive thought? How do you go right through it? You go right through it by not trying to do anything about it, which at first might not make you feel on top of the world, which at first might not make you feel very comfortable, right? But if you want to get used to something, desensitize to something, anything, whatever your trigger is, if you want to teach the brain that this does not deserve a trigger, right? You got to be with it the right way. You got to be with it, go through it. And you can only go through it by dropping the trying to figure it out, by dropping the trying to fight with it. So every time the thought comes that says, oh, this bad thing might happen, you got to simply respond to that with, okay, so be it, right? You got to simply respond to that with, oh, okay, so be it. If you run and jump on Dr. Google, if you run and hide in the same corner, if you start using a bunch of mental compulsions, right, and arguing with this thought, then you're not getting used to it in the way that we need you to get used to it in. You're not desensitizing to it. You're just fighting with it. You're not going through it. You're just kind of delaying it. You're not going through it. You're just fighting with it. Right? And why do people do that? People know, if you've been here for a while, you know that's true. But why do people continue to do that? They continue to do that because it's not comfortable. Let's face the facts. Facing these things and desensitizing to these things are not comfortable because you got to drop your rituals, right? Which consist of fighting with the thoughts and feelings. So not the most comfortable process in the world. But then again, it's not the most comfortable process in the world to fight with it either, because it just kind of prolongs this cycle. So you want to desensitize to something, You just got to get used to it, but you got to get used to it the right way. That means no compulsions, no rituals, no coping methods. See it right through, as Dr. Claire Weeks called it, right? So if you want to desensitize to something, you got to get used to it. And to get used to it, you got to see it right through, which means no fighting with it, no fighting with the thoughts and feelings, getting used to it by embracing it, which means every time that thought rolls around, you just say, okay, man, I guess so, right? Every time that feeling rolls around, okay, man, I guess so. Every time that particular trigger, whatever your trigger is, every time it rolls around, you got to have that attitude of, okay, let's do it. Let's do it, basically, right? Let's do it. So that's what it means to truly see it right through. That's what it means to truly retrain your brain. That's what it means to truly show your brain the truth, right? To have an attitude of let's do it. So at first, no, it's not fun. At first, no, it's not comfortable. But then again, staying in this cycle is not fun or comfortable either, right? So you've got two choices here. You might as well go with one that's going to bring the long-term results, right? So a lot of people, they understand the concept behind this. It's very simple. It's very simple to understand the concept. Hey, you want to desensitize to something? You just go through it, and eventually you'll learn to not fear it. Okay, simple enough. But when these strong thoughts and feelings come, they tend to back out, right? They start using the mental compulsions, fighting, arguing, even physical compulsions. It's different for everyone, whatever yours are. They start doing these things because they start to feel uncomfortable, right? But we want to get you to stay there. We want to get you to practice staying there. Again, nobody's perfect, but we want you to get you to a point where you can practice this at least, right? You don't have to be perfect, but we want to get you to a point where you can at least practice this thing, okay? So if you want to truly desensitize to something, you got to have the attitude of, okay, let's do it, and not the attitude of, how can I get this to calm down? How can I fight this off? You're just showing your brain that these things are important when they're not. You're just showing your brain that, hey, I'm not trying to get used to this. I'm not trying to desensitize to this because I'm still fighting it, right? So Dr. Claire Weeks, when she says see it right through, that's probably the most true thing she's ever said. See it right through. That's what it really comes down to. You want to lose the fear of something, you got to see it right through. That doesn't mean you can fight it. That doesn't mean you can try to calm it down, right? That doesn't mean you can try to do things to get away from it. You got to see it right through until you lose the fear of it, all right, you guys? So with that being said, I know I stumbled over a lot of my words tonight. I'm sorry. I didn't get the best sleep in the world yesterday. The plan was to fix the sleep schedule, and then I couldn't do it, so I went to bed, and I went to bed at a weird time, and then I woke up at a weird time. So I know I stumbled over every single word that I spoke tonight, but hopefully this still helps somebody out there. Hopefully you still got the point that we were trying to make tonight. It all comes back to Dr. Claire Weeks. See it right through. If you want to desensitize to something, you got to experience it, and you got to experience it without all the mental compulsions and fighting, trying to stop it, trying to calm it, blah, blah, blah. You want to lose the fear of something, you got to see it right through. So despite the fact that I tripped over every single word tonight, I hope you guys learned something, and most importantly, like we always say, I hope you take it to heart, and I hope you use it. Next time you're triggered by something, if you want to lose the fear of it, see it right through, right? Which means see it right through without trying to calm it down or fight with it or argue with it, all the mental and physical compulsions that you do, right? Then you're going to lose the fear of it. Then you're eventually going to lose the fear of it if you're with it long enough, because you prove to yourself that there's nothing you need to do. More importantly, you prove to your brain that all is well, right? So, with that being said, it's getting chilly in here, man. I don't know, this winter storm warning we got going on might just be true after all, because it's getting pretty freaking cold in here. We're going to switch on over to the post stream, get some music going, then we're going to read some chat.
And I've been chillin', watching the ocean with you. Baby up with a slow motion crew. And we up in our cloudlands when people change, but not us. And we just chillin', kicking it, kissed by the Could be soaked to the skin in the mall soon. I know she got the good vibes when seasons change, but we're the same. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Even if my jokes aren't funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding.
Alright, I'm not sure what's going on with that. I'm not sure what's going on with that. My new mic is not wanting to pick up on this part of the stream. I don't know what's going on with that. I was talking this whole time. That's weird. Alright, we're gonna have to, for now, until I can figure out what the hell's going on with that, I guess we're just gonna have to use the old mic. I know you guys probably didn't miss it, but David, dude, thank you so much. David says, keep on doing what you do. It's helping. I appreciate that, David. Thank you so much, dude. Keep on doing what you're doing, man. Help yourself. Help yourself. Keep on track, dude. Thank you so much for the $10 tip, David. Appreciate you. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know what the deal with that was, guys. The new mic is not wanting to pick up on the post stream for some reason. It's not even listed in the device list. Good topic / stream. Thank you, Sanchez. I appreciate it, dude. I'm slugging around tonight, man. Sleep is all weird. I tried to fix my sleep and then I messed it up more, and now we're just here doing the best that we can, man. We're doing the best that we can. Let's see. Biggest problem is nausea, sensitization, especially in public. I have to throw up all the time, which is not uncommon. I have heard that before. But if we want to lose the fear of anything, so let's say you have the fear of vomiting, or the fear, more specifically, the fear of vomiting in public. Whatever your trigger is really irrelevant. But just for an example, let's say that is your trigger, which that's what it sounds like. How do you lose the fear of that? You don't try to stop it. So to you, you're probably thinking, well, Jesus Christ, Wonder Bro, what do you want me to do? Vomit on somebody's shoes? And we say, if you want to lose the fear of something, you got to stop trying to mentally calm it down. You got to stop trying to mentally argue with it. You just got to say, let's do this thing. Doesn't mean you're actually going to go out and vomit on somebody's shoes, right? But at the same time, you're not going to mentally try to fight with that anymore, because there's only one way. Man, I can't talk tonight. Fuck. There's only one way to lose the fear of something, and that's to see it right through. That's to not try to mentally fight with it or calm it down, blah, blah, blah. You're sending all these mixed signals to the brain when you do that. You want to get over something? You want to desensitize to a fear? You got to get used to it. How do you get used to a fear? Seeing it right through. That's what Dr. Claire Weeks called it. What's it mean to see it right through? It's attitude, man. It's all about attitude. Let's do this thing. So every time you get the thought of, oh, that might happen, well, you know what? Let's do this thing. Doesn't mean you're actually going to do that, right? But whatever. I think you get the point that we're trying to make. Absolutely, Style Alert. Keep practicing. You can go from severe sensitization to having a pretty calm nervous system, but still have a little bit of work to do, right? Face your triggers with what we talked about tonight, the attitude of let's go, let's do it, right? Instead of trying to fight with it, because when you fight with it, you send those mixed signals. When you fight with it, you're not seeing it right through. When you fight with it, you're not proving to yourself that you can do it. When you fight with it, you're not proving to your brain that there's no real danger, right? When you fight with it, or do these mental or physical compulsions, you're not getting used to it. You're not desensitizing to the trigger. You're just prolonging it, right? You're sending the wrong message. You're sending the wrong message to the old noggin there. Man, I apologize for not being able to get my words out tonight. I'm struggling. I appreciate that you guys are still here to support regardless. I probably would have already tuned out by now. Based on all the comments that you've made here recently, Old Mate, it seems like you're on the right track, bro. It takes time, it takes practice. It's not something that normally happens overnight. It doesn't mean you can't have a quick recovery, if you go about it with the attitude of let's do it, right? But it does mean that it does take time. It does mean that it does take time, it does take practice. What is mindfulness? Terms. Fancy terms that we don't really use anymore because people just obsess about them. You want to lose the fear of something, you got to go right through it, which means mindfulness, you could say, means that when you have a what if thought, you know not to argue with it. That's being mindful. That's making the choice not to fight with the thoughts and just have a, okay, embrace it attitude, right? It means that it means that you hold yourself responsible for what you're doing up in your brain with these thoughts, right? Wonder Bro, do the do time, dude. You're right, man. We need some caffeine. Fuck. You know what, Sanchez? That's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea. Oh, shit. I only got one left. Are you fucking kidding me? I've only got one do left? Oh no, this ain't gonna work. This ain't gonna work. We got a winter storm coming and you telling me I got one do? Oh hell no, hell no. We might have to leave out this bitch at like 1 o'clock in the morning and get some dew, because that ain't gonna work. I'm not gonna be snowed in for however long with no dew. Now I don't want to open this one. I want to save it. Well, shit. I'm in a dilemma, chat. What do I do? What do I do, man? Ba-ba-ba. What do I do? What do I do, chats? Honestly wish, okay, I'm gonna be honest. Honestly wish I would have never started drinking pop again. I should have just stuck to water. Drink it. Let me know on the Dr. P. I'll send you some. Dude, I don't know what the deal is with the Dr. P. It doesn't make any sense to me. One day at a time. One day at a time, man. That's all you can do. That's all you can do if you think about it. In reality. We get ahead of ourselves, but in reality, one day at a time is all you can do. Bad anxiety and panic attacks from smoking weed, but I'm trying my hardest to not get those feelings while smoking, but it keeps coming. What should I do? Probably stop smoking weed. Now, some people are going to hear me say that. They're going to be like, Wonder Bro, you said no compulsions. You said no coping methods. What are you doing? What the hell's wrong with you? Listen, dude. Listen. If somebody's sensitized and they continue to slam alcohol and smoke weed, even though it's like not that great for them right now, they should probably focus on getting the fundamentals of the practice down first before they partake in substances that are just going to make it worse. Because if we don't have the basics of the practice down, right, if we're not learning how to embrace fear, if we're not learning how to face fear, if we're still arguing with thoughts and feelings and not embracing it, we probably shouldn't partake in substances. That's just going to make the practice even harder. Let's get the practice down first, and then if you want to go back to partaking in certain substances, then we'll do that. Right? So I always say when it comes to questions like that, it's personal choice. What you put in your body is personal choice. I can't tell you right or wrong there. I can't tell you one way or the other. But that's my opinion on it. My opinion on it is, yes, I know some people hear me say that and they think, oh, you're endorsing coping methods, and it's like, no, we should probably just get the practice down first. And then if we want to step the difficulty level up by partaking in substances that is our choice, right? Then we can do that if we want to do that. So that's my opinion on that. But I always kind of wrap that one up by saying it's personal choice, really, because it is a choice. That's something you don't have to partake in, but you are. So That's why I mainly say it's personal choice. You think people that suffer from anxiety is from past trauma? I don't. I don't, because I didn't have the smoothest ride in life. I had plenty of things that weren't exactly kosher happen to me. But with that being said, I know for a fact that everything I went through with anxiety was all from bad habits. It was all from getting up in my head, not wanting to embrace fear, not wanting to embrace the thoughts and feelings, instead trying to fight them away, getting myself all worked up. So I can say that for a fact from personal experience. So no, we can't really take quote unquote anxiety disorders and brush them under, oh, you have trauma rug, right? That doesn't really work that way. And I can confidently say that, just from my own personal experience. Of course, you don't know any better when you're fighting with these thoughts and feelings and not embracing and yada, yada, yada. You don't know any better when you're doing it at first, right? But this is ultimately what leads to the stress cycle. Stress on stress on stress. Fight, 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 man. It's so stressful. Wonder where your streams only focus towards sensitized people or also normal anxiety. Both. Both. It's tackled all the same way. If you got a trigger, it's tackled all the same way. You can take a severely sensitized person, teach them how to embrace fear and overcome their fear of fear, get them out of the stressful cycle they keep putting themselves in with the fight, right? You can take somebody who's got normal levels of anxiety and they just have a few fears here and there, a few triggers here and there, teach them the same thing because it's the same concept. There'll never be a different way to go. Right? It would make no sense for there to be a different way to go. Fear is all treated the same, right? And if you want to overcome fear, it doesn't matter if you're severely sensitized or just have normal levels of anxiety. When we're dealing with fear, it's the same concept. It's the same concept, right? By embracing and seeing it through, you start to lose the fear of whatever it is that you fear, right? So same concept, no matter what we're talking about. How do you embrace fear? By not trying to make it go away. By not trying to make it go away. So that means no coping methods, no compulsions. Coping methods and compulsions is just a fancy word for trying to do something about the thoughts and feelings. So if you have a thought, an intrusive thought that triggers you, and then you get up in your head and you fight with it and you try to calm yourself down, you're like, oh God, that won't happen, please God, I hope that doesn't happen, well, then you're trying to fight it. You're not embracing it, you're not seeing it through, you're not going to lose your fear of it that way, right? Same thing for a feeling, same thing through a situation. You're sending these mixed signals to your brain. So, that's why we say when you have these thoughts, just embrace them. Say, you know what, let's do it. It is what it is. When you have these feelings, just live your life, right? No physical or mental compulsions. Now you're teaching yourself that there's nothing to fear. Now you're getting used to the trigger instead of trying to fight the trigger off. So now you're going to give your brain a chance to see it as not a threat. Now you're going to give your brain a chance to see it as not a threat. So people try to go around fear, and you can't really go around fear. You see what happens when you try to go around fear. The thing about that is, Stoller, there's not a human being on Earth who doesn't have thoughts that come that are intrusive. That's just how the brain works. There will never be a time in your life where you don't have thoughts. That's just the human brain. Now, being sensitized, that's a different case. That's not quote-unquote normal, but we can handle that. We can fix that, right? Being overly anxious, that's not quote-unquote normal. We can handle that. We can fix that. We can make changes, right? So yeah, every human's going to get an intrusive thought. I get intrusive thoughts. That's a part of being alive, right? But when you're sensitized and overly anxious and all this good stuff, that's we could say that's uncalled for. We can fix that. It doesn't have to be that way. Old meat with the I said old meat. Old meat, old mate. I said old meat because I was about to say his catchphrase. What's he call it? Skull meat. There you go. I've never forgot that since the day he said it. Since the day he said it, I have never forgotten it. Oh you got a PS5? Nice, dude. Nice, nice. I hope you enjoy it. How you doing tonight, Sanchez? I wish I could get the real mic working. I don't know what the deal with that is. I think I missed a comment earlier from my boy Pooty. What's up, Pooty? You still here? I don't know if you're still here or not. Did you come up with that one yourself, old mate? Sad I go back to work Tuesday. Holidays are over. There's always next year, right? There's always next year. It was a good Christmas. Woke up to pee and here you are. What's up, Truth? Yeah, we're late tonight. We're fashionably late tonight. But I guess it's never too late for a stream, right? I guess it's technically never too late for a stream. What's your advice on someone that's been having setbacks for years? What is the person doing wrong? Still fighting with it, right? So it's I would say my biggest piece of advice for someone who's struggling with actually using the advice is to be honest with yourself, and I mean brutally honest with yourself. I don't mean casually honest with yourself. I mean brutally honest with yourself. Like it's actually time to go look in the mirror and say to yourself, when I get these thoughts, am I still trying to fight with them, or am I embracing them and saying, fuck it, let it happen, right? So if I get a thought that says I might go crazy, am I actually saying to myself, well then fuck it, let's go crazy, let's do it, right? Am I actually embracing these thoughts without using compulsions? Am I actually embracing these feelings without trying to make them go away, doing these physical compulsions, right? So my biggest piece of advice for anyone that's been trying to use the advice but is struggling with it, I would say go look in the mirror and be brutally honest with yourself, because there's no way around that, right? I would say that would be my absolute biggest piece of advice. And I mean brutally honest with yourself, man. You might not like what you hear, but I mean brutally honest with yourself. Hey, what's up, David? From Scotland. What's up, dude? Brutally honest with yourself, man. You know,
I tell people all the time, I knew about acceptance long before I started using it. I'll give you an example. So, I knew about acceptance for a long ass time, but when I would have intrusive what if thoughts or whatever back before I was actually using the acceptance that I knew about, when I would have an intrusive thought which would lead to strong physical symptoms, I would get up in my head and I would be like, okay, I got to deal with this thought, because if I don't deal with this thought, I'm going to keep having symptoms. So I would sit around saying, yep, I use acceptance. I'm a user of acceptance. Hell yeah. But then every time I would get strong physical symptoms with because of a thought or whatever, I would sit around and tell myself, okay, I got to figure this thought out, or else these symptoms aren't going to leave me alone. And then all night I would try to figure the thought out. Oh God, that won't happen because of this reason. And if it does happen, here's my plan. And I would sit around and problem solve and mental compulsion after mental compulsion. And then I'd wake up the next day and I'd be like, yep, I use acceptance. The me now looks back and says, nope, you were not using acceptance. Not at all, actually. Hey, what's up, Christopher? It's good to see you, dude. Haven't seen you in a minute. How have you been? Have a good holiday? Takes work, man. That means every time you find yourself obsessing over a thought, you just got to turn that into fuck it. Might have to do that a lot, but... Or a feeling, a situation, whatever the trigger might be. Hey, thank you for tossing the stream a like, old mate. I appreciate it, dude. Been well? I'm happy to hear it, Chris. Good shit. Is Terry still having a chat over there? Wonder, bro, is Kate doing okay? I don't know. I don't even know if Kate's in the stream right now. I haven't seen her in the stream, I don't think. No, but chill, man. Don't do this. I don't know what you see out there, but... So you wanna be my enemy. You should've known I'd never kiss the rain. I swear, cats just stand outside the window to taunt her at this point. Got to go, Wonder Bro. Cheers to all the peeps for your support. Hey, man. Take it easy, old mate. I appreciate you stopping by, dude. That's where a lot of people fall short, man. I mean, to say fuck it to these thoughts and feelings and not try to figure them out or have a solution kind of feels like throwing yourself to the wolves, right? It feels like a leap of faith. But, I mean, you got to see it right through, dude. And it's not going to be the most comfortable thing in the world. I'm going to be honest with you, right? But at the same time, I always say it's not the most comfortable thing in the world to stay in this cycle either. Like, either way, it kind of sucks, right? So you might as well go the way that's going to bring the lasting results. No more coping methods, man. Feel like shit. You gotta feel like shit and see it right through. Not try to fight it mentally, right? And you know, a lot of people will lie to you and make it seem like it's just easiest thing in the world, man. Easiest thing in the world to do, to embrace these thoughts and feelings, you know. But I don't sugarcoat things. No, it's not the easiest thing in the world. But at the same time, if you get started, you're gonna reap those benefits. So you might as well get started. Don't pull a me, man. Don't pull a me. Don't lie to yourself. Be honest with yourself. When these thoughts and feelings come, are you up in your head trying to calm yourself down and fight with them, right? And when I say calm yourself down, I don't mean in a good way. I mean you're up in your head trying to figure the thoughts out. Oh God, you know that won't happen. Blah blah blah. Compulsion, coping method. You know, are you truly embracing and just letting it all play out, or are you trying to do something about it? Because if you're still trying to do something about it, then time to get honest with yourself, right? Time to get honest with yourself. Most of the time I don't know I'm fighting with it until I'm heavily wrapped up in it. Increase your awareness, you know. Increase your awareness. Get used to the practice. Hold yourself accountable, right? A lot of people do that, and you don't have to be perfect either. This isn't about being perfect, but start calling yourself out on it more, right? Start calling yourself out on it more. If there was someone in your life that was doing something to you that you didn't like, right, you'd probably start calling them out on it, correct? So now you have to do that with yourself. Now you have to do that with yourself. And the moment you call yourself out on it, you can start to go a different route. You can start to change that to fuck it, man. When these thoughts come, okay, I don't mind. Hope it does happen, right? More aggressive approach. Hope it does happen. Totally embracing, not trying to chill it out, not trying to fight with it. Desensitizing to it. Are you into any sports, Wonder Bro? I'm not heavy into any sports. I do like a little bit of MMA. Also like boxing on occasion. Football, and that's probably about it. Definitely not too heavy on the sports, but from time to time, I don't mind a little bit of sports. This is my jam. That was a nice chug. I'll try to keep the burp to myself. I must have missed your comment, Truth. Time to plan for not Truth, but Sanchez. Time to plan for Halloween 2022. 9 months to go. Already starting the countdown, dude. trying so hard lately to not add second fear to some symptoms I have. It can get hard sometimes. You know, it's all about that attitude, man. It really is. It's all about that attitude. And sometimes making that attitude adjustment, again, not the easiest thing in the world, but think of it this way. I mean, how many times have you been through it? How many times have you been through it? You know what I mean? You might as well quote unquote throw yourself to the wolves and see what happens. Ain't nothing gonna happen, but I mean, you don't know that until you do it, which means to let go of all the compulsions, the coping methods, and quote unquote see it right through. But I mean, you got to prove that to yourself. Nobody can prove that to you. But once you start proving that shit to yourself, and you see that you can face these triggers, not do shit about them, and they'll eventually pass. You start to get those experience points, dude. You start to get those experience points, man. That shit adds up. It adds up. But you can't get those experience points unless you're, trying. But you're doing good, David. You're doing good. It's a practice. Oh, the symptoms are going to be there, Hunter. The symptoms are going to be there. What we mean by not fighting it is you're not getting in your head like and saying things to yourself like, "Oh God, go away," and then you're doing physical compulsions. You're getting on Dr. Google. Let me make sure this is just anxiety, and you're running to a corner and shaking in the same corner, and you're doing all these physical and mental compulsions. In your head, you're trying to fight with the thoughts and feelings and make them go away and figure them out, and you're not embracing them, and physically you're doing all these compulsions to try to get rid of it, and physical and mental compulsions. So embracing it is to say, hey, I got these symptoms, okay, bring it on, get as bad as you want to get. You have these thoughts, you say, okay, if that happens, so be it, let it happen. I hope it does happen, right? Be sarcastic, be a little sarcastic asshole with your anxiety. So embracing it means running towards it. You're not trying to do anything about it. You're not trying to fight it off, You're just letting yourself feel it, man. You're letting yourself feel it. You're not trying to do anything about it. That's what eventually teaches the brain that, this shit's not worthy of anxiety. That's what desensitizes you. That's what rewires the brain. Which, all of that probably doesn't sound like a fun time, but then again, is what you're doing now a fun time? Probably not. Probably not, right? So we might as well. We might as well. And being honest with yourself about whether you're doing that or not. Like if we sit here and talk about it, and you decide, okay, yeah, when I have these thoughts, I'm still fighting with them. I'm still trying to figure them out. Still trying to solve them. Or when I have these symptoms, I'm still like getting on Dr. Google, or I'm doing this or doing that. Being honest with yourself, might not be a comfortable thing to do, because you're going to make some truths that you might not want to make. But at the same time, it's liberating. At the same time, it's very liberating, because you can be like, oh shit, dude, I've not been doing it. Every time I have a thought, I'm trying to solve it. Every time I have a thought, I'm trying to figure it out. Every time I have a feeling, I'm trying to fight it off and get some comfort. Every time I have a thought, I'm trying to do an obsession or a compulsion to make it go away. It's liberating to realize that, because once you realize that, you can start doing the right shit, which means not doing any of that, right? Instead, just going right for it, right straight towards it. So, being honest with yourself might not be a comfortable process, but it's a very liberating process. So that, I think David asked earlier, what's my advice to someone who's trying to use the advice but not quite getting it? Well, my biggest piece of advice would be to be brutally honest with yourself. Unless you can tell me that every time you get an intrusive thought, you say, fuck it, I don't mind if that happens, you just embrace it, you don't try to fight with it. Every time you get a symptom, you just embrace it, you don't do a compulsion, try to get rid of it. Unless you can tell me that that's what you're doing, and you can tell yourself that's what you're doing, unless you can do that, we're not doing what we need to do, right? And that's, Like I said, you might not be happy with yourself when you discover that. That's fine though. At least you know the truth now. You can start doing the right thing, or at least start practicing the right thing. You don't have to be perfect. You're not going to win at it every day, but it's going to add up for you. It's going to add up. Hey, what's up, Red? What's up? Well, bro, my experience, the harder I would focus on acceptance to work, the longer it took for it to work. I was not working, but lately acceptance is coming natural. So basically what Sanchez means by that comment, he said the harder I would focus on acceptance to work, the longer it would take to work. He basically meant that he made a common mistake that a lot of people make. So they have a thought, they have a feeling, they say, okay, I'm going to accept it, but then 2 seconds later they're saying, why isn't it working? Which is already adding more fear. You're already trying to get the thoughts and feelings to go away, which is not the mindset we want. The mindset we want is whatever's going to happen is going to happen. That's the attitude we got to practice. So, you know, people say I'm using acceptance, then 2 seconds later they're like, okay, I'm using acceptance, why isn't it going away? Well, you're still trying to do something about it, so now you're just using acceptance like a coping method, right? Um, with true acceptance, when these thoughts come, we say fuck it. When these feelings come, we say fuck it. When this thought comes that says this bad thing might happen, you say, okay, if it happens, it happens, right? And you stay with the discomfort. You stay with it, right, until you desensitize to it. That's true acceptance. So, good point there, Sanchez. Good point. Hey, what's up, T? Welcome to the stream, dude. I'm gonna call you T because I don't know how to pronounce your user there. So I hope that's okay. A lot of people don't realize that mental compulsions are very much a thing. In fact, mental compulsions are some of the biggest compulsions that exist. Absolutely, absolutely. A mental compulsion is fighting with the thoughts and feelings, man. Trying to do something about them mentally. Oh God, I hope that doesn't happen. Oh God, if it does happen, I've got an escape plan. Oh God, here's the statistics. Oh God, maybe it won't happen. Oh God, you see what I'm saying? It's not really something you get good at, Liz. It's just a decision you make. I mean, I understand that plays a part in it, but it's not really, oh, you're so good at acceptance. It's just eventually you make a decision that you're not going to fight with these thoughts and feelings anymore. You're just going to embrace them because you're sick of living the way that you're living. Does that make sense? So I'm not saying that practice doesn't play a part in it, because it does. Um, but at the same time, it's more of a decision that you finally just make to stick to. I would say the answer I gave Liz just now, T, applies to you as well. It's a decision that you have to make eventually. You just get so sick of the fight. So that every time these thoughts and feelings roll around, you're not trying to do anything about them anymore. Ugh. Alright guys, we're getting ready to wind this one down. I think we're gonna top off on 70. I think this is it. We're getting ready to wind this one down here in about 5-10 minutes. Like I said earlier, guys, if I am not here tomorrow or the next day, right, we've got a nasty winter storm warning in effect. So we'll see how that plays out. Probably will turn out to be nothing. 9 times out of 10 it turns out to be nothing, but just giving you guys a heads up now that I've got the opportunity to do that. So don't freak out, man. Don't freak out if you don't see me, right? Probably means that I'm sitting in the dark, but hopefully that doesn't happen. Come here, Nova. What are you doing over there? I might actually, I know Terry's having a talk. I might actually join that. I'm not sure yet. People were trying to get me to join that earlier, but I wanted to knock the stream out at least, so I might join Terry over on his chat, maybe. We'll see what happens after we end this stream. I can't believe I've only got one do left, man. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Let me drop the link to that in case anybody wants to join us over there. Because I might go ahead and join that. Seems like they got a decently full chat going on. It's cold as shit here in Texas tonight. Let me see, I've got the temperature on my desktop. It is 38. I'll tell you guys what the warning says. Storm warning. Hold on. Let me see. Winter storm warning issued January 2nd, 9:58 p.m. It is 12 now. And this storm warning is going on until January 3rd at 12. Heavy snow to impact Monday morning. Let me see. What to expect. Heavy snow, expected total snow accumulations of 4 to 8 inches. Locally higher amounts along the ridges. And wind gusts. So, not a pretty combination. Not a pretty combination at all. I don't mind the cold. I don't mind the cold like at all, but I don't want to sit in the dark, so that's the only thing I don't like about it. I don't mind being cold. I don't mind having to huddle up with a heater. I don't mind any of that shit, but the moment, you know, I have to sit in the dark for however long, I'm not a huge fan. Not a huge fan of that. We had one earlier. You had a winter storm earlier? Oh shit, let me close that because it's causing us to lag. Weather app was causing me to drop frames. I'm gonna have to shut the window. I've been leaving my window open for the past 4 or 5 days now because it's been so warm in here. It is like probably gonna get down into the teens. Mother Nature has definitely been a bit strange here recently. He's in the chat right now. I wonder if he would join. Would that be too much pressure? Shit, what is up? Sanchez, dude, thank you, Sanchez. Yeah, I appreciate you, man. I was trying to get up with Terry, see if maybe he wanted to come on, but I don't want to put him on the spot or anything. I know he's been going through it recently. Maybe we should save that for like a special podcast or something. Thank you for that, Sanchez. I appreciate you, dude. I was in the process of checking on the Discord to see maybe if we could get Terry on, but I don't know. He said he's been going through it recently with some, I think it was family issues or real life issues or something. I don't want to put any pressure on him. I know it's kind of late too. Also, dude, Sanchez, so today Nova was able to get through, she's got 2 toys that she loves, right? She was able to finally get through the other one and break it. She has not been able to do that with the pineapple, so I think you have bought an indestructible toy. She hasn't even so much as put a dent into that toy yet, which is actually really surprising. I'm just like, hell yeah, finally, finally, a quality toy. A quality toy. The thing that drives her crazy is she tries to get the squeaker out of him. You know what I mean? Like, it drives her nuts. She tries to get the squeak toy, like, part of it pulled out of it, but she can't do it on this one. She can't do it on this one no matter how hard she tries. Typical. It's all good, dude. It's mostly my fault for starting the stream so late. I'm taking full blame for this one. I'm taking full blame for the typical ending on this one. Well, not always, but for the past 2 or 3 days I've been starting the stream really late. So I'm taking blame on this one. Which I took that into consideration before I started streaming, but I was like, it's no big deal. I still think we deserve our song though, regardless. Still think we deserve our song regardless. I might actually be able to sleep tonight, kind of feels like. Sanchez! Sanchez! Oh, bro. Bro, you didn't have to do that. Thank you, Sanchez. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. Single-handedly, dude. Single-handedly. Thank you, man. I gotta stop streaming so late. I gotta stop streaming so late, dude. It's never a good idea to start a stream at midnight and expect there to be a full crowd. I feel a little bad that you have to do that by yourself. I'm gonna take the blame for that one. I gotta stop streaming at near midnight. I always tell myself it'll be alright, but it's never a good idea. Crowd is lower in bed when I stream past this time, so I'm gonna take the blame for that one. We're gonna start trying to do earlier streams so we can get more people in here. Like, I mean, if you look at the view count right now, we're at like 9 viewers, which is unheard of for this channel. We normally have triple that amount, twice that amount. So for there to only be 9 viewers in here, it just goes to show you that we should probably not stream this late. So, my bad on that one. My bad on that one. Hey, I appreciate that though, Sanchez. Thank you, man. Thank you, Sanchez. Says let's call it a night. You're right. You're right. We should call it a night. It's been a long one. It's been a good one, but I gotta stop streaming past midnight. Hey, I appreciate you though, dude. We are gonna go ahead and wrap it up. Let's get our song going. Hopefully tomorrow we'll start doing the earlier streams, because those are apparently way better. So thank you for that, Sanchez. I appreciate you. Let's get our song going, man. Let's get our song going. We'll go ahead and end this one. Hopefully tomorrow, if I'm not sitting in the dark, we'll do an earlier stream. So until then, I love you guys. I might actually crash out, dude. I'm tired of shit all of a sudden. I love you guys. I'll see you very soon.
I'm a stone cold killer, I'm a billionaire. I got my own gold digger. If I wasn't this way, I'd rather die. Did it die, yeah. Did it die. Did it die. I'm a stone cold killer, I'm a billionaire. I got my own gold digger. If I wasn't this way, I'd rather die. Did it die? Wait. Did it die? Wait. Did it die?
Whatever you want, I'll be whatever you want. Just tell me you love me or not, whatever it costs. I know I'm talking a lot, there's something I gotta get off. Don't wanna be this no more, I don't wanna drink no more. Always gotta do the most, thinking that I'm insecure. Really should've listened more, but I don't, of course. I'm an asshole, I'm a good guy, I'm your best friend, I'm the worst type. Tell you everything that you heard right, just so I can fuck on the first night. Feel like I'm losing hope, running from coast to coast. I don't know where to go, this all I've ever known.
I'm a stone cold killer, I'm a billionaire. I got my own gold digger. If I wasn't this way, I'd rather die.
No,
Did it die?
wait,
Did it die?
wait.
Did it die? I'm a stone cold killer, I'm a billionaire. I got my own gold digger. If I wasn't this way, I'd rather die.
Won't die,
Did it die?
wait,
Did it die?
wait.
Did it die?
My aunt think I'm perfect, I know I'm not. My mama be worried, I told her stop. They know I did drugs and think that I'm off. Little do they know I never could stop. My manager hate when I'm pulling up late. Back on my bullshit, she think it's a phase. I got relations I gotta maintain. I'm two different people, my side and my main. Yeah, I'm sober, I'm an addict, I'm a low life, I got habits, but I refuse to be average. Really so tired of acting, don't know what I miss no more. Too bad you don't hit me more. I'm bad when I get too bored. Careful what you wishing for. I'm a stone cold killer. I'm a billionaire. I got my own gold digger. If I wasn't this way, I'd rather die. No, did it die? Wait, did it die? Wait, did it die? I'm a stone cold killer.